Okay. I've shared my whiteboard. Okay. Today we'll start probability. I did not talk about the past paper questions from the chapter of transformations because I just want to complete the syllabus before Ramzan. And once we are done with the syllabus, obviously, we will be doing full-fledged past papers only, right? So it is good that we complete the syllabus first and then we talk about all the questions together. Today, we'll talk about probability. This is the next chapter. Okay. Probability is important. You can get a 4 to 6 mark question. You'll see more questions in P1 from this topic, and you might find some questions in P2 as well. But basically, you'll find more questions in P1, right? Okay. What exactly is probability? Probability को understand करने के लिए let's start the discussion with this day. You can say that probability can be replaced with the word chance as well. Okay. For example, if I give you an example, let's say I say that the chance of having a sunny day tomorrow would be 30%. Okay. The chance of having a sunny day tomorrow would be 30%. What is 30%? We have done percentages. 30 per cent, 0 and 0 would be cancelled, and we have 3/10. This is the probability of having a sunny day. Okay, this is what you need to understand. Okay, this is for sunny. What about not sunny? Yes, can anyone tell me?
70%.
Very good. Okay, so it is 3/10. We know that sum of probabilities is 1. Okay, this is your go-to rule. Sum of probabilities is 1. So if for sunny it is 3/10, for not sunny it would be 1 equals 3/10 plus the probability for not sunny, and it would be 1 minus 3/10, and that would be 7/10. This is the answer. So Han, did you understand the basic idea about probability? That probability is chance. We can talk about
Yes, ma'am.
percentages as well. Sum of probabilities as 1. Okay, very good. Okay, now this was obviously a very basic example, just assuming that you guys must be having some idea about probability. Okay, but still, if you have confusions, if you are not clear with the basics as well, just tell me. I'll explain them as well. Obviously, I am explaining from scratch, but I did not get into the depth of what probability means and the origin and all that. Okay, let's talk about the formula we use for finding probability. So probability is of any event. Event could be the day is sunny, the day is rainy, you are getting heads after tossing the coin, you are getting, 6 while rolling a dice. So this is what the event could be. Okay. So probability of any event, will come to this later. I'll talk about different scenarios. We'll be having different events. Is basically the ratio of favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes. This is what you need to understand. Okay, and we'll be using this. You'll understand that easily. Let's talk about the first scenario. This is example number 1. Let's say you are rolling a dice, roll a dice, and what are the total outcomes? You can get 1, you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We are interested in finding out the probability of getting an even number. So we will be using this over this. Okay. It would be a fraction in the denominator. We'll write down the total outcomes. What is total? We have 6 options. It could be 1, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what exactly it is? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, right? Are you getting this? This would be 6, right?
Yes, Turhan and Sunny. Total would be 6. So in the denominator, I will have 6. And what about the numerator? How many events do I have which are referring to this? 2, 4, and 6. Excellent. 3. So this would give you 1 by 2. This is the probability of getting an even number. Saneem, did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Now the scenario, the event could be any event. Okay. Prime number.
Okay, what about this? Again, the total is 6. So how many prime numbers do we have? Yes, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. Remember, 1 is not a prime number, okay? So again, we are going to have 3 by 6, and this would give you 1 by 2. Turhan and Saneem, did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's talk about another scenario now. Let's say you are tossing a coin. Now, these are the most basic examples. We'll upgrade the examples once we are done with the simple ones. So I just want both of you to pay attention and understand this. Just give me 1 second. Let me just ask the students to join as well because this is important. Okay. All right. Let's talk about another scenario now. Tossing a coin. Okay. So what are the two things you can get once you toss a coin? Either you can get heads or you can get tails. So the total of this scenario would be 2. You can have 2 outcomes only, right? And what about the favorable outcomes? That is going to be yes. Now it depends, okay? Let's say I want you to find the probability of getting heads. So in that case, the favorable outcome is 1 only, and this would be 1 by 2. Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let's upgrade the concept and let's say we are tossing 2 coins now. We are not tossing 1 coin. So let's see what happens in that case. This is the third scenario. Please stay focused. This is important. Toss 2 coins. Okay. So it could be that you are tossing head and head. You're tossing head and tails. You're tossing, let's say you're tossing, you might get heads and head and tail, then tail and heads, and then tail and tail. Okay, now just imagine that you have 2 coins and you are tossing them. What are the total outcomes? What are all the possibilities you might get while tossing them? It could be that both the coins turn out to be heads, or both of them are tails. It could be that on the first coin you are getting heads and on the second coin you're getting tails. It could be that on the first coin you're getting tails and on the second coin you're getting heads. Okay, so these are two different scenarios. Always remember this. Students at times they just say that isn't head tails and tail heads the same thing? No, that is not the same thing. Okay, you need to understand this thing. All right, so it could be head and tails and heads, tails and tails. Okay. Total is what's the name? It's 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That is 4. Total is 4. Okay, my question is what is the probability of getting same sides? Yes. That would be a fraction. In the denominator, we are going to have 4. By same sides, what does it mean? If it's heads, it should be heads on both. If it is tails, it should be tails on both. So what do we see? 1 and 2, right? So we have two favorable outcomes in this case, and the answer would be 1 by 2. Okay. Now I want you guys to answer the next questions. Please pay attention. What is the probability of getting both heads? Just type the answer in the comment box. The probability of getting different sides. And the third one is probability of getting both tails. Yes, you have three questions. Just type the answer in the chat box using 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Very good, Sameem. Turhan, what about you? What would be the probability of getting both heads? Yes. Please pay attention and tell me the answer. Yes, Turhan, are you there? Turhan, can you hear me? Okay, I think Turhan is not there. Anyways, okay. Right. Let's talk about the next thing now. Acha, okay. Let's talk about another scenario. That is the fourth one. Fourth scenario is that you are rolling two die at a time. Okay. So we have two dices and we are going to roll them at the same time. So for that, I am going to make a table. You will understand why. Okay. So let's say we have two colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. This is the first dice, and then that is the second one. Okay. This means that on the first dice, you're getting a 6. On the second one, you're getting a 1. Okay. Then this point would mean on the first die, you're getting a 6, and on the second one, you're getting a 2. So what would this mean? This would mean you're getting a 3 on the first one and a 4 on the second one. And what about this, Sunny?
1 on the first and 6 on the second.
Very good. Good. Okay. All right. So, yes. Okay. Now, I did not write down anything in these boxes, okay, because it depends on the question. I'll write down a few questions and then I'll write down everything with it. Okay. First question is, what is the probability that both dices have same number? Okay. So again, first let's talk about the total. The total would be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows and 6 columns. So total would be 36, right? And how many boxes are of this type where both the dices have same numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 by 36, and that would be 1 by 6, right? Yes, Saneem,
Yes.
are you, Turhan, are you there as well?
Yes, ma'am, I'm clear with this.
Okay, all right. Okay, because I was calling you, so you were not responding. That is why. Okay, it's okay. So this would be 1 by 6. Okay, the next question is, this one was easy. Let's talk about okay. Let's say this time around the question is of this box again. Okay. So this time around, you need to find the probability that the sum of the two or sum of both the scores is 6. Yes. What would be the fraction this time around? Think about it and tell me the answers, both of you. Okay, let's start this by ticking those boxes. Sum of both the scores is 6. Okay, so this would give us 6. Okay, 5 and 1 would give us 6, 2 and 4 would give us 6, 3 and 3 would give me 6, 2 and 4 would give me 6, and then again 1 and 5. So how many boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 over 36. This would be the probability that the sum of both the scores is 6. Okay. Now my question is, what is the probability that the product of both these scores is 12? Product is 12. Okay. Yes, Turhan, what do you think about this question? Mm-hmm.
Okay, since there's multiple ways it can happen. One second.
Very good. Okay.
So there's the 6 and 6.
Yeah,
There's
that would be sum. Okay, we're talking about the product. Okay.
yeah. So there's 1/12.
1/2. Okay, you're talking about the final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. That's good. Let's check that as well. Very good, both of you. So Saneem also gave the same answer. So 6 into 2, and then 5 into nothing, then 4 into 3, then we'll have 3 into 4, and then 2 into 6. Very well done, both of you. So it would be 4/36, and the answer would be 1/12. Very, very good. Okay. This is good. This is clear. Okay. Now we have a different scenario. Let's upgrade this. So this is the fifth scenario. Okay. This time around, you are tossing a coin and rolling a die at the same time. So, first, we need to talk about the total outcomes you might have. Okay. So, it could be that on the dice, you are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And obviously, you're not only rolling the die, but you're also tossing the coins. So, it could be that you're getting heads. And then again, it could be that you are rolling a die, you might get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you might get tails this time. So my first question is, what is the total outcomes? Yes, please answer me.
12.
Very good, excellent. Okay, total is 12. Okay. Now let me start writing down the scenarios. Okay. So what is the probability that you are getting a head and an even number? Yes. Heads will follow the first row, even number 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3/12, and that would give me 1/4. Similarly, what if I say, what is the probability of getting tails and a factor of 12? Yes. So for tails, we'll follow the second one. So 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, 4 is a factor, and 6 is a factor, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will have 5 by 12. This is going to be the answer.
Yes, Turhan and Saneem, did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Turhan? Turhan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, then this is one last question for you guys, and then we'll talk about tree diagrams.
So what is the probability of getting head or tails with an odd number? Yes. Take your time and think about it. Yes, this question is for you guys. Okay, just think about it. I'm waiting. Okay, very good, Saneem. And yes, what about you, Turhan?
Once again, doing it.
Okay, sure. Very good, Turhan. Excellent, both of you. Okay, this is good. Okay, now we are comfortable with the concept of probability, and we have discussed 5 scenarios, and we know how to calculate the probability. Okay, but it could be that you get something more intense than these scenarios. Okay, so for those cases, we need some other things. Okay, so let's talk about the next topic, that is tree diagrams. Okay, now please pay attention. This is very, very important. Acha. Sabse pehle, I'll write down some rules that we need to follow in case of tree diagrams, and then I'll talk about the similar scenarios, and we'll make their tree diagrams. Okay, and then things would become very, very easy. So just understand. Okay, before that, I think I should make the tree diagram and then I'll write down the rules. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the scenario which we discussed already. You are tossing 2 coins. Okay, toss 2 coins. Okay, you are tossing 2 coins. So what exactly is going to happen? Let's see. I'll make the diagram here. Okay. So either we are going to get heads after the first toss, or we will get tails, right? This is true. We are tossing 2 coins, okay? So we'll toss the first coin and then we'll toss the second one. So it could be that on the first coin, either we are getting heads or we are getting tails, okay? Now, even if you're getting heads for the second toss, again, you might get heads or you might get tails, okay? And for this as well, you might get heads, you might get tails. So what exactly are we getting? We're getting the same thing. We might get head and head, we might get head tails, we might get tail heads, we might get tails and tails, right? This is what we have discussed already. But this is just a way to represent this using the tree diagram, and we are not done yet. On these lines, ma'am, tossing two coins or tossing a coin to, okay, that is a good question. So you can think about it this way, that you have two coins, you're tossing the first coin and then you're tossing the second one, right? You have two coins, first you're tossing a coin and then you're tossing another one. You can also think about it the same way, that you're tossing one coin two times, okay? You need to understand the scenario. So just imagine that you have two coins in your hand, you're tossing the first coin, and then once you're done with that, you're tossing the second coin, right? So after the first toss, it could be that you get heads, and once you're done with the tossing of the second coin, it could be that you're getting heads, it could be that you're getting tails, it could be that after the first toss you got tails, and then after the second toss you got either heads or tails, right? It could be any of these four scenarios. Did you understand this now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And this was a good question. Okay, we are not done yet. In order to understand this completely, you need to write down the probability on all these branches. So what is the probability of getting this heads? 1/2, right? We have done this already. What is the probability of getting tails? It would be 1/2. Yes. Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. And then what about the probability of getting heads again? That would again be 1/2, because these two events are independent, right? Do not get confused with the terms. We know that if we have if we have two coins, or even if we have one coin, we are separating, we are tossing them separately. The probabilities would not get confused. Okay. This would also be 1/2. This would be 1/2, and this would also be 1/2. Yes. Is this okay, all of you? Did you understand this, Turhan and Saneem?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now we have already done the probability of finding head and head, probability of finding head and tail, probability of finding tail and heads, and probability of finding tail and tail. Okay, so initially we did that using this, the fact that we have four scenarios, and then we just used to do 1/4 and stuff like that. Now, in order to do it this way, we need to learn another method, and that other method is probability of head and head. Means we are going to focus on this part. So that would be calculated by 1/2 multiplied by 1/2. Probability for head and tail would be that you are getting heads for the first one and tails for the second one. So you will multiply both these probabilities. 1/2 into 1/2. Probability for tail and head would be calculated how? Yes, tail and head. Okay, so we'll focus on this part. This would be what, Turhan?
Yes, please participate. You need to multiply the probabilities, okay? 1/2 into 1/2. And the last one would be what's the name? Tail and tail? It would be this one. And what would be the value?
1/4.
Very good. 1/2 into 1/2, and that would be
1/4. Okay. So you have seen that in probability we have multiple ways of solving the similar question. You need to understand the scenario. Okay. And once you have understood the scenario, you can easily just do your working. Yes. Farhan, did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay. Now I'll write down some rules. I'll talk about another scenario and then that is it. So here are the rules for the tree diagram. So we have three rules which we need to understand. The first one is sum of all branches starting from same point is always 1. The second one is total probability of a branch is calculated by multiplication. Okay, I'll explain these, don't worry. And then the last point is if we have more than one branch, so we will add individual branch totals. Okay. Okay. Now, what exactly happens in a tree diagram? First thing is that the tree diagram could be for a simple scenario as well and for a complicated scenario as well. Okay. Let's understand this using a simple scenario. Let's say you have a coin and you are tossing it. So either you'll get heads or you'll get tails. The probability is written on the branch, so it would be 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. Okay. Sum of all branches starting from same point is always 1. This is the point. We have two branches. The probability on first branch is 1 by 2. The probability on second branch is 1 by 2. So this is going to give me 1, right? Okay. Now, if you are interested in finding out the total probability of a branch, so in that case, we multiply. For example, let's say that now you had two coins. So for the first coin, you might get head tails. For the second coin, you might get head tails, and then you might get head tails. Okay. Now, if you are interested in finding out the total probability of a branch, we need to multiply. Now, this depends on the scenario, on the examiner. If he wants you to find the probability of head and head, you'll multiply this. If he wants you to find the probability of head and tail, you'll multiply this. And you know how to do these questions. We have just done a question of that type, right? And then the last one says more than one branch, add individual branch totals. Okay, now let's say the question is to find the probability of head and head and tail and tail. So we will first find the total probability of the branch by multiplication and then we'll add it. Okay. So okay, this would be the term. All right. Now please pay attention, both of you. This is the final thing for today. Let's say that the question was to find the probability of getting either two heads or two tails. So first you will find the probability of the branch by multiplying these two. That would be 1 by 4 or means plus, and then for this you are again going to multiply it and add up the answer. This would be 1 by 4 again, right? So again you will get 2 by 4. So it would be 1 by 2.
Right? Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Han, did you
Yes.
understand this?
Yes.
Okay. So then I'll just give you a last question and then you can answer that, and then that is it. It is completely fine if you were not able to understand the rules. Once you practice questions, you would automatically understand everything. Okay. So let me make the scenario for this one. So it's either sunny day or it is a rainy day. The probability is 3 by 10. I'm writing them. Okay, they are given in the question. 7 by 10. Then if it is a sunny day, the person can either go by bus walk or cycle. So it is, let me write it down here. It is bus, okay. This is 7 by 10. This is 3 by 10. It would be bus, walk, or cycle. Then bus and walk. Let me just write down the question properly and then I'll ask you the questions. 1 by 7. This is 2 by 7. This is 5 by 7. Okay. So I have multiple questions here. Question number 1. What is the probability that it is a rainy day and the person goes by cycle? Yes. What is the probability that it is a rainy day and the person goes by cycle? So you need to find this probability. Your tip is that
The first rule we discussed in case of tree diagrams. The sum is 1. Okay, so okay, Saneem, this is 1. Let me take your answer again. Okay. Saneem, take your answer again. Okay, it's 1 by 7. This is 2 by 7. So what was the first rule? First rule was that sum of all the branches starting from the same point would be 1. So 1 minus 1 by 7 plus 2 by 7 would be
4 by 7.
very good. Would be 4 by 7. Okay, and then the second question is from Durhan. Durhan, what would be the probability that it is a sunny day and the person is going by walk?
That is
Yes.
2/7.
Very well done. Very good. Excellent. Okay. So it would be 2/7. Good. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about some proper questions from this. So we are done with probability. Once we are done with this, what is the probability that it is a rainy day and the person goes by bus? This is the first one. The person goes by walk. Yes. Yes. What is the probability that it is a rainy day and the person goes by bus? Okay. And means multiply. Okay. So rainy day is 7/10 multiplied by 1/7. So this would be 1/10. Very good. Good, Saneem. Okay, Turhan, can you tell me the probability for the second one?
At the walk.
For the second one, for this question. Yeah, for the walk.
Okay, 1 second.
So we have two for walk, this one and then this one. Yes, Saneem and Turhan, you can type the answer in the chat box, okay? Okay. Okay, Saneem, check your answer once again. Yes, Turhan is correct. Okay, let's see, okay? So it's good that you guys are trying. Walk could be that it is a rainy day and the person is walking. It could be that it is a sunny day and the person is walking, okay? We need to take these probabilities in account as well. So 7/10 into 2/7 is for the probability that if it is a rainy day and the person is walking, plus the probability that it is a rainy day and the person is walking. So this would give you 1/5 plus 6/70, and the answer is going to be, you can check that again. It is 1/5 plus 6/70. So it would be 2/7. Saneem, did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So anything that you have not understood in this class, both of you?
No, ma'am.
All right. And that is it for today. Then I'll see you tomorrow. Inshallah.